cry for help, feel like I'm sinking. There is no one near me I can see, but there you are in the water with me. You take my hand and guide me graciously. Will you come with me on this journey? With every breath we take, keep reaching for the dawn. I know alone that I will falter. With a good friend near me, I will carry on. There is a kindness in your smile and a gentleness within your speech. You reassure me, your love surrounds me. I know safety is at last within my reach. Will you come with me? Will you come with me on this journey? With every breath we take, keep reaching for the dawn. I know alone that I will falter. With a good friend near me, I will carry on. Well, it's an illusion we carry with us as we wade on through the waters of our lives. That we must be strong and hold our own here, but a helping hand will save us by and by. Will you come with me? Will you come with me on this journey? With every breath we take, keep reaching for the dawn. I know alone that I will falter. With a good friend near me, I will carry on. I know alone that I will falter. With a good friend near me, I will carry on. With a good friend near me, I will carry on. I feel the current raging around me. Try to summon up my strength once more. I am weary on this journey, afraid I will not reach that distant shore. I cry for help, feel like I'm sinking. There is no one near me I can see, but there you are in the water with me. You take my hand and guide me graciously. Will you come with me on this journey? With every breath we take, keep reaching for the dawn. I know alone that I will falter. With a good friend near me, I will carry on. There is a kindness in your smile and a gentleness within your speech. You reassure me, your love surrounds me. I know safety is at last within my reach. Will you come with me? Will you come with me on this journey? With every breath we take, keep reaching for the dawn. I know It's an illusion we carry with us as we wade on through the waters of our lives. We must be strong and hold our own here, but a helping hand will save us by and by. Will you come with me? Will you come with me on this journey? With every breath we take, keep reaching for the dawn. I know alone that I will falter. With a good friend near me, I will carry on. I know alone that I will falter. With a good friend near me, I will carry on. With a good friend near me, I will carry on.
Good evening. On behalf of AJC Washington, welcome to the 2021 Hyman Bookbinder Award celebration. I'm Randy Tritel, and I serve as the AJC Washington Regional President. I'm delighted to open the celebration of our honoree, Maryland State Senator Cheryl Kagan. As most of you know, but for those who are less familiar, the American Jewish Committee, AJC, is the leading global Jewish advocacy organization. From city halls to Capitol Hill, at the UN, and in capitals around the globe, AJC works to influence policy and opinion on the most important issues facing the Jewish people. As you surely know, the challenges before us are profound. Some may say impossible, but AJC reimagines what is possible. With bold ideas and an unparalleled track record, AJC fights anti-Semitism and all forms of hate, strengthens Israel's place in the world, and defends democratic values. Together, we can shape history. Tonight's award is named for AJC's longtime Washington, D.C. representative, Hyman Bookbinder. Friends and community members knew him as Bookie. Bookie was the quintessential relationship builder, just like tonight's honoree, Senator Kagan, known to most of us as Cheryl. Tonight, we will hear tributes to Cheryl from friends, colleagues, politicians, and activists. To kick off tonight's celebration, I now turn the program over to our MC, Eileen Filler-Korn. Eileen is the Speaker of the Virginia House of Delegates and a distinguished member of AJC's board. Speaker Filler-Korn, Eileen, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Randy. Welcome to all of our guests and all the friends of Senator Cheryl Kagan. Cheryl is organized, collaborative, passionate, sincere, fun, hardworking, inspiring, assertive, relentless, engaged, confident. Those are just a few words that describe our friend and honoree tonight, Senator Cheryl Kagan. Cheryl and I go way back, further than I'd like to admit, because then you could figure out how old I am. But let's say more than 30 years. Anyway, we met through our involvement in the community, both of us advocating in support of many progressive issues. We wanted to make a difference, and boy, has she. Cheryl and I stayed in touch on and off for years. We had no doubt that our paths would cross again somehow, but they did when she first ran for office, and then later when I did. I consider myself extremely fortunate to have Cheryl in my life. Cheryl walks the walk. She gives of herself, she volunteers, she steps up. She is never afraid to get her hands dirty, roll up those sleeves, and she makes things happen. I mentioned above several words which describe Cheryl, but we also know Cheryl as a Scrabble player extraordinaire, a networker, a concert attendee and organizer, leader, supporter of others, advocate, senator, but most important, Cheryl is an amazing friend, always willing to lend a hand and make a difference. Senator Kagan, Cheryl, I am so proud to call you my friend. This is not going to be the typical award celebration. You are all in for a special treat. We will hear from distinguished members of the U.S. Congress, including Senator Chris Van Hollen, Representatives Jamie Raskin and David Trone, and leaders from the state of Maryland. In addition, you'll hear special performances from Cheryl's friends who are talented musical artists. While Cheryl continues her tremendous work in civic engagement, she also remains a pillar in the Jewish community. In fact, Cheryl was a founding member of Congregation Har Shalom. It is fitting that our first guest is Cheryl's rabbi, Rabbi Adam Raskin of Congregation Har Shalom. Rabbi, we look forward to hearing your reflections and benediction.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I am so honored to be a part of this celebration and to share a few words about my friend Cheryl Kagan. I will never forget a remarkable Shabbat dinner that my family and I had with Cheryl back in 2013. She was mulling a return to elected office, and right there at our dining room table, my kids, who were then 12, 10, and 7 years old, became Cheryl's unofficial campaign managers, rattling off ideas, suggestions, and strategies for her future campaign. They were enthralled by Cheryl's energy, passion, and vision, and they practically demanded that she run for the Maryland Senate. To this day, they take a fair amount of credit for Cheryl's decision to run for office in 2014. My son Ezra and I were right at Cheryl's side at the campaign headquarters as the returns came in, celebrating Cheryl's victory on election night, and we have the t-shirts to prove it. I think what my kids saw years ago is what we all see in Cheryl today. She is the consummate public servant. She loves what she does. And even more importantly, she loves her constituents. It reminds me of something that the great Rabbi Jonathan Sachs once said. In Judaism, he said, a leader is a servant, and to lead is to serve. No one embodies that more than Cheryl Kagan. It's not just a can of Tab that gets her up and out the door every morning. She lives to serve, and she has a swevin. Don't know what a swevin is? That's a word that Cheryl recently deployed in a victorious Scrabble game in which she scored over 500 points. I had to look it up. A swevin is an archaic word that means a dream, a vision. Cheryl is a dreamer, a visionary. She dreams of a community that is more just, more inclusive, more compassionate for all its inhabitants. And she is invigorated by a sense that this is not only a democratic responsibility and not just an outgrowth of progressive politics, but rather a matter of Jewish conviction as well. Cheryl, as you heard, is a founding member of Congregation Har Shalom, and she makes her Judaism known in so many ways, far beyond just kibitzing with Kagan. Cheryl's sense of social justice and public service is very much shaped by her Jewish values and upbringing. In Pirkei Avot, we learn that one who is honored is mechabed et chavero, one who honors others. Cheryl, you honor us every day by your indomitable commitment to a better Montgomery County, a better Maryland, a better world. May God continue to bless your efforts, strengthen your convictions, and give you the wisdom to continue to serve our community with distinction. I'm so proud to know you, Cheryl, so proud to be your rabbi, and most of all, so proud to be your friend. Mazal tov. It is now my pleasure to welcome AJC's Chief Policy and Political Affairs Officer, Jason Isaacson.
Thank you, Rabbi Raskin. Let me start by talking about Hyman Bookbinder, Bookie, as all of us know him, whom I had the pleasure to know after succeeding David Harris, who succeeded Bookie in this role in Washington, representing the American Jewish Committee. and whose name still graces our office on the conference room door. Hyman Bookbinder was a rare human being. He really invented Jewish advocacy in Washington. He was dedicated to public service. He was dedicated to social justice, to building a healthy society, to assuring the welfare and security of the Jewish people, assuring the security and well-being of the state of Israel, at peace with its neighbors. He was tireless. He was broad-minded. He was curious about everything. He was a riot to be with. So energetic, so persuasive, so passionate. And you could not but love him, and you could not but follow his lead. And it's the characteristics of Bookie that continue to guide a lot of the work that AJC still does in Washington, that inspires me and all of my AJC colleagues, and that is exemplified in Cheryl Kagan, a woman who also is a dedicated public servant, dedicated to building a healthier society, to assuring the security and the welfare of the Jewish people, assuring the security and the welfare of Israel at peace with its neighbors. Also curious, also persuasive, also great fun to be with, also an incredibly impressive, inspiring communicator, and also a good friend. It has been such a pleasure to work with Cheryl, to be interviewed by Cheryl on her TV program many years ago, to travel with Cheryl, to see her in action, in the state Senate as a leader in our community, in the broader community. I also have to express my long-term, really permanent debt to Cheryl for introducing me to my wife. That is not why you're getting this award, but I just had to throw it in. But Cheryl, you have earned the Hyman Bookbinder Award, and we are honored to be able to convey that to you. And now it is my pleasure to offer the comments of three members of Congress who are going to join us in acknowledging Cheryl.
Hi, I'm Chris Van Hollen, and I'm proud to represent the great state of Maryland in the United States Senate. And I'm especially pleased to be joining you, the American Jewish Committee, to honor the recipient of this year's AJC Bookbinder Award, my very dear friend, Maryland State Senator Cheryl Kagan. Cheryl has been a lifelong champion, not only for the Jewish community, but for our entire state of Maryland. She has dedicated her life to lifting up Marylanders of all backgrounds and helping to ensure that government works for the people it serves. That commitment informs everything that Cheryl does, from her initiative to upgrade our public safety infrastructure through Next Generation 911 to her tireless support for the nonprofit sector. Hyman Bookbinder knew that advancing the cause of justice doesn't just come from one act alone. It demands a lifetime of action. That legacy lives on in Senator Cheryl Kagan, whose tireless advocacy has improved the lives of our fellow citizens, both through her work on the AJC board and through her service in public office. I want to salute her for all she has given to our community, and I am deeply thankful for the continued good work of the entire AJC family. Congratulations, Cheryl.
Hey everybody, it's Congressman Jamie Raskin from Maryland's beautiful 8th District. I'm just popping in to say congratulations to my friend Cheryl Kagan on the wonderful occasion of her receipt of the Bookie, the Hyman Bookbinder Award from the American Jewish Committee. I'm very excited about her winning this because she's been such a great champion of the public interest, of the not-for-profit sector, of the cities and the counties and the towns in Maryland. And she's a great environmentalist. She's a great election reformer, a great consumer champion. She sponsored the repeal of the Maryland state song, our old, antiquated, obsolete Confederate state song. We got rid of that because of her. And now the stage is set for a great new state song. And she's been, of course, a force in the folk rock music scene for a long time. So for all of these reasons, you've made the right choice in awarding the Bookie to our beloved Senator from Rockville, Gaithersburg, Senator Cheryl Kagan. Congratulations, Cheryl, and I'm wishing everybody a wonderful occasion.
Hi, I'm Congressman David Trone, representing Maryland's 6th Congressional District. I want to congratulate my good friend and colleague, Senator Cheryl Kagan, for being this year's Hyman Bookbinder Award recipient. Marylanders are lucky to have an energetic, effective, and principled leader like Cheryl, working tirelessly for them in Annapolis. She is a voice for the voiceless and a staunch advocate for progress and justice. It's been my privilege to work together with Cheryl to improve the lives of our constituents and really get stuff done. She's a true leader in the community, and I'm honored to call her our friend. Congratulations, Cheryl, and thank you to both you and the American Jewish Committee for your continued efforts to speak up and fight for our Jewish community both here and around the world.
In Montgomery and in Selma and the streets of Birmingham, people sent a message to the leaders of the land. We have fought and we have suffered, but we know the wrong from right. We are family, we are neighbors, we are black and we are white. Here I go, bound for freedom, lay my truth, take the lead, not the preaching, not the Congress, not the millionaire, but me. I will organize for justice, I will raise my voice in song, and our children will be free to lead the world and carry on. One sat down on the sidewalk, one spoke out for our land. Now Grieta and Tokata and young leaders all demand we must shout, our house is burning. We must open up our eyes, take action for the planet. Like the waters, we will rise. Here I go, bound for freedom, in my truth, take the lead. Not the preaching, not the Congress, not the millionaire, but me. I will organize for justice, I will raise my voice in song, and our children will be free to lead the world and carry on. Here I go, though I'm standing on my own. I remember those before me, and I know I'm not alone. I will organize for justice, I will raise my voice in song, and our children will be free to lead the world and carry on. From the streets of New York City, across the ocean and beyond, people from all nations create a common bond with our conscience as our weapon. We are witness to the fall. We are simple, we are brilliant, we are one, and we are all. Here I go, bound for freedom, and my truth, take the lead. Not the preaching, not the Congress, not the millionaire, but me. I will organize for justice, I will raise my voice in song, and our children will be free to lead the world and carry on. Here I go, though I'm standing on my own. I remember those before me, and I know I'm not alone. I will organize for justice, I will raise my voice in song, and our children will be free to lead the world and carry on.
Cheryl Kagan loves words. She once said, "I'm a grammar geek, a word nerd, and I'm proud of it." She pointed out that a friend of hers bought her a t-shirt saying, "I'm silently correcting your grammar." Cheryl loves words so much that she's actually a nationally ranked Scrabble player. True, absolutely true. But in all seriousness, that Cheryl loves words should come as no surprise to anyone. And that's because Cheryl understands that words matter. And if I may use a metaphor, that each letter in a word has value. And that's not just in Scrabble. I've never heard Cheryl say an unkind word to anyone or about anyone. She understands what author of books on Kabbalah, Yehuda Berg, said. Words have energy and the ability to help, to heal, to hinder, to hurt, to harm, to humiliate, and to humble. Or what Abram Joshua Heschel said, speech has power. Words do not fade. What starts out as a sound ends in a deed. She knows that her words and her speech and her advocacy as a state senator and as a leader in AJC, in the Jewish community, and around the world does matter, and can literally change people's lives. And that's what Cheryl's words, in whatever shape they take, do each and every day. Now, we're meeting virtually, so we'll not be having food, but allow me to leave you with this food for thought. It may not be coincidental that this week's Torah portion is Emor, which translates as speak. The Parsha ends with a discussion of blasphemy, the act of speaking sacrilegiously about God or sacred things, a warning of the possible destructive impact words can have on things holy to us. Cheryl speaks Divrei Torah, words of Torah, when she values our tradition, when she puts the words of the Torah into practice, as she does each and every day of her life. It's my privilege to join with so many others in honoring Cheryl for all the words that she so effectively uses to benefit so many. And now I'm pleased to introduce John Chu, the International President of the North American Scrabble Players Association. John, over to you.
Hi, my name is John Chu, and I run the North American Scrabble Players Association, and I'm here to tell you a little story about how I came to be playing a game of Scrabble with Cheryl Kagan in a Baltimore hotel meeting room a couple of summers ago. And, well, this is what happened. Our association, like a lot of similar associations, runs largely on the basis of volunteer effort, and I've come to know over the time that I've been running it that there are helpful volunteers and there are less helpful volunteers. And when someone says they can do something for you, you have to take that with a grain of salt depending on who that person is. And so when a while ago people were asking where the next North American Scrabble Championship was going to be, and I said, no idea yet because we haven't found a good venue, I was told by the time I got back to my desk that someone had come up and said, I know a great place, Baltimore. And I was thinking, yeah, Baltimore's a nice city and it would be a great place to go, but it's probably a little bit out of our price range and so on. Then I asked, who said that? And they said, Cheryl. And I looked blankly for a minute because I'm in the room of 500 people, several of whom are named Cheryl, and my memory for names and faces is not all that great. Just long enough for the person to say, State Senator Cheryl Kagan of Maryland. I said, oh, well, I guess we're going to Baltimore then. I wonder if I'll get to play a game of Scrabble with her. And sure enough, as soon as we were done with that event, I started getting calls from state tourism authorities and hotels and so on, and it was fairly easy to pick a great venue. And if there hadn't been this little pandemic in the meantime, we'd all be there playing Scrabble and have a great time, and we're still looking forward to going there. And I'm sure I'm going to end up back in that hotel meeting room with Cheryl on every possible planning occasion, squeezing in a few more games of Scrabble in between, deciding menus and room layouts and all that sort of stuff. And I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank Cheryl for finding us a great location for the first post-pandemic North American Scrabble Championship. Cheryl, you're a godsend. I don't know what we do without you. Thank you.
We all need to jump on that Scrabble bandwagon. Thank you so much, John. It is now my pleasure to welcome Maryland's Lieutenant Governor, Boyd Rutherford, followed by Maryland's Senate President, Bill Ferguson.
Hello, I'm Lieutenant Governor of Maryland, Boyd Rutherford. I want to extend a sincere congratulations to Maryland State Senator Cheryl Kagan on receiving the prestigious Bookbinders Award. Senator Kagan has passionately represented the people in District 17 in Montgomery County since 2015. Much like the American Jewish Committee, Senator Kagan works across party lines to build coalitions around issues that impact communities across Maryland. After the death of 3 people in her district, Senator Kagan worked with colleagues in the General Assembly to upgrade public safety systems to next generation 911. Senator Kagan has also shared my commitment to procurement reform, collaborating on the creation of the Maryland Efficient Grant Application Council, which will study and make recommendations to streamline the state's procurement process for nonprofits. As Vice Chair of the Education, Health, and Environmental Affairs Committee, Senator Kagan helped shepherd the Interstate Licensed Professional Counselors Compact Bill through the Senate. The bill, which was one of the recommendations of the Mental and Behavioral Health Commission that I chair, passed the House and the Senate this legislative session. Senator Kagan is very deserving of this honor. Congratulations and well done, Senator.
On behalf of the entire Senate of Maryland, I would like to extend a sincere congratulations to our colleague, Senator Cheryl Kagan, for being recognized by the AJC Washington with this year's Hyman Bookbinder Award. The senator from Rockville and Gaithersburg is a tireless advocate for the expansion of voting rights, supporting Maryland's nonprofits, and modernizing our state's 911 emergency system. As the Vice Chair of the Senate Education, Health, and Environmental Affairs Committee, Senator Kagan is an important part of our Senate's leadership team. She consistently exemplifies persistence when tackling some of our most complex issues and is never afraid to get into the weeds of an issue to make sure that we address it thoroughly and correctly. Senator Kagan is a fitting choice for the 2021 Hyman Bookbinder Award based on her tenacity that she brings every day to Annapolis as she works on behalf of her constituents and all Marylanders. She continues to have an outsized impact in our chamber and is committed to bringing organizations that are vital to the legislative process into our work. Once again, congratulations on behalf of the entire Senate of Maryland to Senator Kagan for this well-deserved honor.
Cheryl is a planner, an organizer, and a get things done type of person. Cheryl, we have a special surprise for you that you didn't know was planned. It is my honor now to welcome American Jewish Committee's CEO, David Harris.
Hello, everyone. I'm sure, like all of you, I wish that this event were in person rather than virtual. But at the very least, in speaking to you from New York, I do have one advantage, and that is that I had the privilege over many years of knowing and working very closely with Hyman Bookbinder, for whom this award is named. Indeed, I had the very big Hyman Bookbinder shoes to fill when he retired, and I replaced him as our director in Washington before coming here to New York. And I also have the privilege over some 2 decades of knowing Cheryl Kagan, of knowing her in her role as a lay leader in AJC, a very enthusiastic lay leader. And so for me, knowing Bookie as I did and knowing Cheryl as I do, I can vouch for the fact that AJC Washington made a very inspired choice in selecting Cheryl to receive the very prestigious and very meaningful Hyman Bookbinder Award. And I think when I think of Cheryl and I think of Bookie, I think of a couple of things. Number one, very proud Jews. Different life experiences, but they reach the same conclusion. They are proud, unapologetic Jews. Secondly, Bookie chose to play his public role through the NGO world, and especially his many years at AJC. Cheryl chose to play her role through elected office as a state senator in Maryland. So in effect, there are 2 sides of one coin, and that is, what can we do to improve our country, our world? How do we take the spirit of Tikkun Olam and translate it into real, meaningful action for people in need? And number three, both Bookie and Cheryl are absolutely delightful, wonderful, multi-dimensional people. Always a joy to be around this kind of infectious spirit that Bookie always had when people were with him. And I spent lots of time with Cheryl in many places during her AJC lifetime, and she carries that infectious spirit. So that proud Jewish identity, that commitment to the public good, and that personal quality, I think makes this a shidduch, a match made in heaven between the late Hyman Bookbinder, whom I continue to miss profoundly, and Cheryl Kagan, a dear leader, supporter, friend of AJC, advocate par excellence. I think Bookie would have been very happy to know that you, Cheryl, are the recipient of the award in his honor that's being given to you today. Mazel tov to you, and my best wishes to everyone gathered virtually to celebrate this event.
Thank you so much for those inspiring words, David. Now, the reason why we are all here. It is an American Jewish Committee tradition that the past recipients of the AJC Hyman Bookbinder Award present the current recipient with this special honor. Billy Kreisberg, David Farber, and Tom Kahn, you have the floor.
Thank you, Eileen, and good evening, everyone. My name is Billy Kreisberg, and as the most recent recipient of the Hyman Bookbinder Award, it is an honor to present this year's award to someone I have truly admired and respected for more years than either of us would like to admit, my good friend, Cheryl Kagan. Cheryl and I first met when we were both young Democratic activists back in the late 70s or perhaps early 80s, dipping our toes into national politics with one of the leading progressive organizations at the time, Americans for Democratic Action. I was there mostly to hear from some of the leading politicians of the day. Cheryl, on the other hand, I'm quite certain looking back, was there laying the groundwork for a budding political career, a career that has embodied the very essence of Hyman Bookbinder. As you have heard from so many tonight, Cheryl, a native of Washington, D.C. and Potomac, Maryland, has been a member of the Maryland legislature, first in the House of Delegates, and for the past 6 years as a member of the state Senate, representing Gaithersburg and Rockville. My only regret living in DC is not getting to vote for Senator Kagan. As a dedicated, energetic public servant, Cheryl has made a name for herself on a host of environmental, technology, and emergency response issues. But perhaps most importantly, she has been a staunch ally of the nonprofit sector, recognizing the essential, vital role that organizations like AJC play in building a just and equitable society. For this reason, among many others, she was recognized by the Center for Nonprofit Advancement and received the first ever Legislative Champion Award by Maryland nonprofits. Cheryl's commitment to public service has carried over to the Jewish community, where she was a founding member of Congregation Har Shalom in Potomac and serves as the Director of Community Engagement for BBYO. She has also served with great distinction on the AJC Washington Regional Board for more than 20 years, and participated as both an AJC Blaustein Fellow and a Comey Fellow, two highly sought after and selected leadership programs. And for those of you who follow Cheryl on social media, you know her outside interests are varied and extensive, ranging from hosting her hugely popular folk and great music concerts for the past 18 years, to her accomplishment as a nationally ranked Scrabble player. And if all that wasn't enough, she recently started her own podcast, Kibitzing with Kagan. I could never do true justice to Cheryl's list of achievements, but I can sum them up in one phrase: her commitment to Tikkun Olam. Cheryl has dedicated her life to repairing the world, not only for those closest to her, but for those she will never meet, whose lives will forever be enhanced by her actions in Annapolis and through the myriad of organizations her work has touched. It is for all of these reasons that Cheryl Kagan is such a worthy recipient of AJC's Hyman Bookbinder Award, named for a tireless advocate for the Jewish people and himself the embodiment of public service. Cheryl is every bit that tireless public servant, and we are all the richer for her contributions to our community. Looking back all those years ago to when Cheryl's and my paths first crossed, it comes as no surprise to me that Cheryl Kagan would have chosen the career she did, and that one day she would be receiving this most special honor, named for a man beloved and admired across the Jewish world. In receiving this award in 2019, I noted that if I could follow in the footsteps and learn from the example set by Hyman Bookbinder, I would look back with pride and consider my life to have been a great success. I have no doubt Cheryl Kagan feels the very same way, and I speak for everyone joining us tonight in wishing her a heartfelt mazel tov. Cheryl, may you continue to go from strength to strength. Thank you.
I'm David Farber, also a past honoree and recipient of this prestigious award. Cheryl, the special paper cup we present was made in Israel by an artist with a great first name, David Fisher. The words are so appropriate for you. Tzedek, tzedek tirdov. Justice thou shalt pursue, or she shall pursue. Your career of public service and devotion to the Jewish community truly reflects Bookie's legacy.
I agree with David. I'm Tom Kahn, and it is my sincere pleasure, genuine pleasure, to present this award on behalf of the American Jewish Committee's Washington to my very dear friend of 25 years, Cheryl. We present to you the 2021 Hyman Bookbinder Award. Mazel tov, congratulations, you earned this so richly. We could not be more thrilled for you.
Thank you so much for this remarkable award. I always introduce myself as saying, "Hi, I'm Cheryl Kagan, very proud to be the senator for Gaithersburg and Rockville." I also want to say, I'm Cheryl Kagan. I'm very proud to be a board member, a longtime board member of the AJC, the American Jewish Committee. I want to note that even though I'm very proud to be a Democrat, that AJC is a bipartisan, nonpartisan, nonprofit organization. So even though I may make, and others may make, Democratic references, we want to make sure that AJC always works across the aisle. I know that for almost 20 years, Hyman Bookie, Bookbinder, was the voice of the Jewish people on Capitol Hill. He was so loved and respected. He was deeply effective and was known for reaching across the aisle, working with people from different ethnicities, different backgrounds, and finding common grounds. He brought Jewish values to his work and has left a legacy that continues on. For AJC to recognize me with an award named for this hero is really just one of the greatest honors of my life. AJC, the American Jewish Committee, is an organization on whose board I have served since 1999. Over 20 years now, I have donated my time and money and random ideas that they have sometimes agreed with as a volunteer lay leader. AJC is one of the most extraordinary organizations I have ever been affiliated with. Their professional staff and lay leaders are some of the smartest, most effective, most collaborative, strategic folks I have ever known. I have been able to work with AJC on a national level as a Blaustein Fellow, as a Comey Fellow, and gotten to know some of the national leaders. The staff in New York are extraordinary, and AJC is known as kind of the diplomat for the Jewish community. They work across religious lines and ethnic lines to make a difference. They stand up for the people of Israel, for Jews around the world, and for opportunities to help others, while we then are also helped. They also make sure that we never forget the brutality and the mass murders, the genocide that was the Shoah or the Holocaust. As a state senator, it is really my privilege to try in some small way to emulate the impact that Bookie had on Capitol Hill. Early in my career, I actually worked on Capitol Hill. I worked with Jim and Sarah Brady on the Brady Bill and the assault weapons ban to try to address and reduce the access to guns that are still too prevalent, too accessible today. I worked at National NARAL to protect women's reproductive choices and lots of other stuff. But now I'm in Annapolis, having served 8 years in the House of Delegates, and now I'm in my 7th year in the Senate with a 12-year gap year in between. I love making a difference. I love being an advocate for causes like 911, consumer protection, local government, the nonprofit sector, and so much more. And working with colleagues, Republicans and Democrats from across the state, very conservative to very liberal, and with lots of different interest groups. And together, we're able to make a difference in Maryland, and we have been able to enact some truly groundbreaking legislation that other states have emulated. There is so much that I can say, but there are so many more people who are going to be speaking tonight. I just really want to say how grateful I am to AJC for the work that the staff and lay leaders do every day. And I am proud to do my part and will wear the label of Bookbinder Award winner as with pride for the rest of my career. Thank you so much. Thank you to everybody who donated. Thank you to the staff and consultants and everybody who made tonight such a special event, even though we have to be virtually. I think AJC owes me a really good chocolatey dessert since we're not at a fancy hotel eating together. But thank you to everybody who donated, from $18 to thousands of dollars to support the work of AJC and this event. So with that, please stay masked, stay safe, get your vaccine when you're eligible, and I look forward to being with you at future AJC events and future Bookbinder events in the years to come. Take care.
Cheryl, wow, what a night. Mazel tov, you continue to inspire us, and thank you for all that you do. Whether in your role as a legislator, activist, or Jewish community leader, you are a person who consistently reimagines what's possible. You are tireless and fearless, and AJC is so lucky to have you as part of our family. We truly appreciate your leadership. Friends, we're going to have some breakout groups now to chat with fellow attendees and discuss important topics that impact our community. You can choose where you wish to go by selecting the session according to the instructions that will appear on your screen. After the breakouts, we will come back together as we close the evening. Thank you for being here, for honoring Cheryl and Bookie's legacy, and supporting our community. Please enjoy the discussions, and we'll see you back in a bit.
Welcome back. It's been my sincere pleasure to honor Cheryl. There are many people behind the scenes that make tonight possible. Thank you to the AJC staff team, Alan, Laura, Susan, Seth, Monica, Michal, Charlie, Alyssa, Leslie, and Ellen. And thank you to our event producer, David Goldstein from Smash Productions. And to each of you here tonight, thank you. Thank you for your support of AJC and for joining us to honor Senator Cheryl Kagan. Before you go, I have a special invitation for you. We are officially inviting all of you to AJC's Virtual Global Forum. Mark your calendar for June 6th through June 9th. AJC Global Forum is an international gathering of exploration and education of the Jewish community's priorities. Learn more at www.ajc.org/Global Forum. As a proud AJC board member and longtime AJC supporter, I know our community faces many challenges. However, we are not alone on that journey. AJC reimagines what's possible. Together, we can shape history. Join us. We hope to see you in June.
Hi, Cheryl. Congratulations on the Hyman Bookbinder Award. I'm proud of you and proud to be able to call myself your friend. One night in restless sleep I dreamt a young man came to me and asked what I had done that day to end the misery. I said, what difference would it make? What good could I have done? There are too many people, he said, no, there's only one hungry child, the one you did not feed, one lonely soul, the one you did not need, one dying heart, the heart that would not bleed for all the things the day has left undone. We each can change the world with only one. Now lately I'd begun to fear the turning of the earth with every lap around the solar system since my birth. I'd see my chances to change my life go from slim to none. How many days are left, I asked. He said, you need just one single day. Live with all your heart. One single step is enough to start wonderful things. Stuff that's off the charts can happen on the journey once begun. We each can change the world with only one. He said, though they mesmerize you like a gold watch on a chain, you're more than the boundaries you embrace. Reason thin as angel skin will fly to some high shelf when light that searches through the endless darkness finds itself. One hungry child won't be denied bread. One lonely soul won't be neglected. One by one, dying hearts will heal when they've bled for all the things that we have left undone. We each can change the world with only one. My friend, we each can change the world